Afnan, intelligent, in fragrance world, served up like a sample at the wee hours of Sam's, you say? Good tidings, and I appreciate you dropping on by. I be Clowing Clouds, your ever-enthusiastic voiceover. I picked up a new batch of decants and wanted to share my take on them with you. I'll only touch on about 3 of them right now. I feel like more than 3 might extend this just a wee bit too long, and we don't want that. We want it to be bearable. Enough of all that jazz, let's dig into what we got here. For our first one, we have Cocoa Morado by French Avenue / Fragrance World. Now, this one is a unisex fragrance, and it came out about a year or so ago. And the one thing that struck me about this when I first looked it up was it has a bajillion notes inside of it. And from past experiences, generally kind of goes bad with that many little tones and notes and what have you. It's not a symphony. It seems more like a car accident, and unfortunately, I'm kind of leaning towards that may be what this is about. And this is why I buy decants. It's more or less to determine would I buy a bottle, not so much as a hard rating on them. So let's dig into this, get a smell, and then we'll talk more about the notes in a moment. Okie doke, let's give it a spray. I also like to mention I have these little pieces of paper that I always use to spray my decants on, just to kind of get an idea of the smell. And no, I didn't get any from the person that I bought it from. I also like to write on them so I know what they are. I'll have them sit even for a little bit longer after the fact, and then come back, and then smell them again, and see kind of how they're, I guess, maturing. Now, this isn't perfect. I know it's probably better to test it on your skin, but this is just how I prefer to do it. Got a little bit of dust on it. All right, let's give it a go. Nice spray. Okay. Now, to mention some of the notes real quickly, well, as quickly as I can since, once again, laundry list. And I have them next to me. There's no way I would remember all these. I'm not going to pretend to say that I know all of these off the top of my head. That's awful. It's not very honest of yours truly here. The top notes be cinnamon, cardamom, pink pepper, saffron, nutmeg, and ginger. The heart or middle notes will be caramel, dates, agarwood / oud, sugarcane, amberwood, incense, myrrh, davana, and the base notes will be Madagascar vanilla, tonka, benzoin, cacao butter, leather, labdanum, patchouli, musk, and mate, or mutt. It's a lot. And speaking of which, let's talk about what I actually smell right now. Initially, like right off the bat, that oud agarwood smell, front and center. Now, I know this is a very conflicting smell for a lot of people, including myself. I'm not above that. I generally don't love it. There's been some times where it does smell decent. Is this one of them? I mean, let me give it a nice quick whiff again. It's okay, but it has a lot going on. Now, the thing with agarwood or oud to me is it always smells like hospital gloves and cleaning chemicals. I don't know why. It's just this weird rubber-esque smell to it. And it seems to be, I mean, it could be something else inside of it, but it seems to be that every single fragrance that I have with that note, it always has that same chemical, like, I don't get the fecal matter smell that others do, but it just smells like chemicals and gloves at the hospital. Not the most enjoyable for me personally. Once again, there has been ones that aren't bad. Also, this is a bit strange because there's a sweetness underneath it. I mean, there is several sweet notes in here, if I'm not mistaken, like sugarcane. And Madagascar vanilla to me is a hint of a sweet gourmand-esque smell. I'm going to let it sit for a few moments and then come back to you and see if anything changes. Well, there again. No, it's about the same. It's just not a very pleasant smell. I will also mention this is a Eau de Parfum. It's a cold weather fragrance. Once again, it's about a year old. I don't know what this is supposed to be copying, but whatever it is, I hope that the original smells more smooth, because this is just jumping all over the place, and I can't quite pin down beyond that chemical vanilla smell. Everything else, it's just muddy water. It's just, you're just walking through the sludges of fresh water and kicking up the sea bottom or what have you. Just not very pleasant. And once again, agarwood slash oud, I don't mind it. It has its days. This is not one of them. Just to keep it as brief as I can because I have two more to go through. Not a fan. I let it sit for a little bit, and it's still kind of having those same notes. I mean, the smallest little hint of an extra bit of sweetness is coming through. Let me grab this one more time just to give it the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, like up close, it almost smells like, I don't remember the correct term, but those little cleaning wipes they do to disinfect your skin before they give you a shot. It smells like that with a hint of incense. And I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie, just not my cup of tea. Now, would I or would I not purchase a bottle of this? I, as it probably goes without saying, would not. That's all I have to say on this. Not a fan. On to the next one. Okay, now this one is, I believe this is my Rare Carbon. Yeah, this is Afnan Rare Carbon. Now, this one was released in 2020. I believe this one is a unisex fragrance, and if that's wrong, once again, I have some notes on these things, but I also just try to see what I can remember off the top of my head and then just correct things in post because, yeah, answers and words string together to give you, the viewer, the correct solutions. I don't know. We'll figure it out together. It's fine. I believe it's unisex. If not, I'll put a little word here that corrects that. Now, some of the scents that we can expect are, and I'm just going to tell you about the scents now. It's a much shorter list, so I don't mind mentioning them before I spray it, versus that last one, which we're just going to kick off to the side. Our top notes would be leather, violet leaf, nutmeg, and cinnamon. Okay. Our heart or middle notes will be violet, agarwood, there it is again, and rose, as well as cedar. And the base notes will be sandalwood, amber, and vetiver. So let's give it a spray and see how it plays in the old nostrils. Okie doke. See if I can look around the old camera because I can't see too well through it. Nice spray. Okay. Initial smell right there. Initial smell. I don't mind it. That oud, once again, it's there, but one of these notes with it, and I know that there's a bit of a transition period between the notes, but for me, immediately I can smell that same scent as the last one, which reminds me of just hospital cleaning wipes and gloves. But it's blending with something else in here that's making it a lot more pleasant. I think it might be the violet leaf. I have a couple like really simple fragrances I bought in the past that have like 2 or 3 notes, and one of them is violet leaf. And it always reminds me of like a sweet cucumber, fresh vegetable smell. And I kind of get those two playing with each other like this. I wouldn't say canceling each other out, but like a compliment, topping the other thing to make it more enjoyable. I like it though. That's nice. I'm going to give it a few moments and then come back and talk about what's still lingering. Okay, and we're back. Now, let's give it another little whiff. Okay, so this is an interesting thing for me is I almost smell like a smoky smell to it. Nothing here says it's smoky. I mean, there's the vetiver, which I believe is more of like a balsamic type smell. Amberwood, maybe, but there's something almost like, just a natural smoke. You're walking through the woods, a lightning strike happens, hits a cedar wood tree. Some of that little pluming smokes come off and slap you in the face. Pluming smokes, apologies. I like it though. It's nice. Do I get any nutmeg or cinnamon? No. Do I get violet? A little bit. I get no rose whatsoever. Cedar? Yeah, the most mild amount, I would say. I'm not an expert in discerning the difference between like cedar, sandals, and amberwoods. They're woody. I know cedarwood's a little bit easier to tell, but with several of them, I won't lie to you. I mean, I'm not a master perfumer, but I will say the oud and the violet leaf definitely saying hello. Let me give it one tiny more smell, just to give the benefit of the doubt. Really up close on this, there's the slightest hint of like a fresh sweet to it. And I'm pretty sure that's just a violet leaf. Now, as where I would wear this, if I did wear it, probably more outside-esque areas. Uh, it doesn't seem overbearing right away. One spray obviously is just one spray. From the initial spray, it could be a tad overbearing with a few more. I don't believe this would be an office safe scent if that's your cup of tea, or that's what you're trying to get out of these type of fragrances for this time of year. Definitely has that cold weather type of smell. I don't know if I would ever pull this off in like a nice hot day, and I live in an area where it gets pretty toasty from time to time. Would I buy a bottle? I think so. I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. Do I know the price point? I do not. But the decant of this, just like a little milliliter I bought, it was less than $3. So my guess is it's not more than $50, so it's still within that. Okay, I'd give it a go for about $50 or less. It's interesting. I don't think it's a mass appealing scent. Definitely those who enjoy that agarwood oud scent would like it. It's not as bad as the last one. I feel like some of the notes here are a little bit more complimentary, or it's just myself. Scent's subjective. Everyone likes what they like. It's a windy day today. It's howling out there. Apologies. But I'd say I would wear this one. Afnan Rare Carbon. Why not? And our last decanter of this video is Intelligent Argon. I have bought a few of these decanters in the past of some of the other fragrances in this line. So far, not super duper impressed with them, but the notes in this one, they sounded interesting, so I'm like, you know what, for $3.74 for a milliliter, let's give it a go and see if I would buy a bottle of it. Now, some of the notes we can expect for this one would be black pepper, grapefruit, bergamot, lavender, and apple. That's for your tops. For your middles, cinnamon, vetiver, cedar, and elemi. I'm not quite familiar with what that is. I will put a little bit of words up here when I figure that out after the fact. As for the base, it is guacwood, my wonderful guacwood again, tobacco, and amberwood, as well as tonka and musk. So nothing too overbearing. It definitely is a more masculine smell. I also believe this is a scent marketed towards men. I could definitely see that in the notes. Nothing here really strikes me as a unisex smell like some of the other ones. Let's give it a spray and then have a chat. Okay, this is interesting. So, right away, black pepper immediately. I mean, it's saying, hello, put me on some pasta. And I don't mind that. I'm a big fan of black pepper. I think it works well in food as well as fragrances, but I'm a bit biased. That's just me. If you like black pepper, right away, it says hello, and I say hello right back to it. Give it another smell. I mean, I kind of get that little bit of that bitter fruit bergamot. I've smelled a lot of fragrances, it seems like, with bergamot. It seems to be quite a staple. And after several of them, you just can kind of be like, okay, I can smell that. I'm by no means an expert in all the smells, but with that one, it says hello, and I'm also going to say hello back. As for the initial lavenders and apples opening up, I don't get it. I don't smell any of that. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit and then talk about if we can have any other scents saying hello to us. So give me a moment and we'll see how it goes. Up close, I'm getting the smallest hint of that cinnamon, just a wee bit. I don't get much of the cedar. I don't get much of the vetiver, and I'll have to double check to see what elemi is. Maybe it's kind of showing itself, but it's mostly just black pepper and grapefruit to me. Now there is kind of an earthy smell on like the undercarriage of it, something holding it together, and that's probably that musk amberwood going on. I definitely can smell that too. Not really much sweetness to this. It just seems to be a nice, simple, masculine smell with a woody black pepper grapefruit kind of mixture going on. That's what's blending in my nostrils. You might be able to get away with it in a work setting, but it's definitely not the most appealing smell. It's not very, it's no Sauvage, I suppose. It's no Eau Fraiche, which seem to be just universally loved by people who don't really smell fragrances all that much. This definitely isn't a bit of an acquired taste, but I think I have acquired a taste for this smell. I like this one. This is lovely. I think I would buy a bottle for it, and I think I would wear it once or twice to the office, maybe 1 or 2 sprays at the most. I'm curious about how it lasts. I hope it lasts a while, but I'm under the belief that not every fragrance needs to last forever. Not everything needs to be like a spice bomb, for instance. or an interlude manner, what have you. Some of them can just exist in their small bubbles and slowly fade away into the day, and that's more acceptable. That's more than acceptable to me. If this is that, I think it would be quite lovely. I hope it's not overpowering, because if so, it would be hard to wear this in a few areas. Clothes spaces, maybe. Um, I still would try. My curiosity has been piqued by some of the smells that are still lingering. But even now, black pepper, bergamot, and some sort of woody smell to it, which could be, once again, one of those three notes that they have on. So of the three, it looks like we have one no, one maybe, one yes. The Argon, I think I would pick up a bottle. The Carbon, maybe. The French Avenue, Cocoa, what have you, no. Unless I decided to just waste money for the sake of it. I don't think it's a good smell, but that's just me. Smells are subjective, never forget that. Anyhow, anywho, and anyway, I think that'll be it for us today. Feel free to follow if you like, drop a like if you want, or comment if you need. I don't mind. That is all from me. You have yourself a great little day. Bye bye.